Hey, oh my gosh, good morning, everybody. Hello. Let's see who's here. Kobe from Alabama. Hello, good morning. Sheila from Florida. Hi, friend. Ed in New Jersey. I'm right by you today. Oh my gosh. And Bill in Georgia. Hi, everybody. Good morning, Sheila. How are you guys doing? Welcome to Live Every Day. This show on Backchannel is from 8 to 10 Eastern every morning. Actually, this week we kind of are. Normally on Tuesday, Thursday, we're only here for 1 hour, but tomorrow I'm here 2 hours. So where am I? Where in the world is Liv right now? I'm on a vacay. Not really. I'm not really on a vacay at all. I'm on a work trip. It's like the longest work trip in the universe. And as of right now, I'm in Long Island. I had to think about it. Hello, Kim, out in Virginia. Hi, good morning. So I am in Long Island today. Not for very long. I'm doing a thing. I guess it's like a TV show situation. I don't really know. It's a TV network that happens to like the company, is that the studio? Why am I acting like I don't know words? No, that's called Every Day. The studio is right here, like next to where I am. I'm at a Marriott, and so this is where I'm gonna be. And here's what's so funny, everybody. I have this like interview that's gonna happen, and I said, "Oh, okay, great. I'll just, come into the studio. I'll be in Long Island." They were like, "Oh, you're gonna be in Long Island?" I was like, "Well, I mean, I am now." And so I planned this whole thing. I'm staying at the Marriott on Long Island. I'm in Uniondale. And I wrote them. I was like, "So how long do you guys need me on Monday?" And they were like, 10 minutes. We need you for 10 minutes. I was like, "That's it? 10 minutes?" So I'm here for 10 minutes, which is really hilarious. So I'll go after this show and I'll head over to the studio for my 10-minute interview. So, that's how it goes. I want to hear how you're doing. I want to hear what you're drinking, what is going on, how your weekend was. I'll get to my weekend. As you guys know, today is Make It Work Monday. Make it work Monday. What does that mean? That means, listen, it's Monday, and a lot of things are going to happen because we are back in the work week. We're going towards, guys, Christmas next week. Is that true? Is Christmas not this Saturday, but the next one? Anna, is that, like, am I saying that correctly? Yes. Wow. You guys, we're less than 2 weeks away. That's crazy. You can tell on my face that I'm still like asleep. So what do I have in my cup? I have got Marriott coffee that came out of that drawer. I hate these machines. They're so gross. They're just this little there's just this little thing, you know what I mean? Like they just have this little tiny thing that you just like slide in and that's it. And it makes a cup of coffee. It's not that great. So that's what I have. Cheers, everybody. Hello to your Monday. Kobe, did you have a good weekend? I want to hear what you did. So Make It Work Monday. What are we going to make work today? We'll see. We'll find out what's going on today. We've got 2 hours. We're going to learn a lot of stuff. Actually, it's going to be actually fantastic. And it's going to go with what I'm talking about because this weekend I spent in New York City and I was so lucky to have it jam-packed. In 12 hours, I did all the things. My husband and my daughter flew up because I'm here on this work trip for 15 days. 15 days. So Saturday, we decided we're going to do all the things with our daughter. So Ed, that's why I was like, I'm in your area, like I've gone back and forth in New Jersey like a few times this trip. But anyway, so we went and we did a lot of surprises. We did a lot of we kind of did like a Yes Day. Have you guys heard about Yes Day? It's a film that came out on Netflix with Jennifer Gardner. And it's really cute. It's like, trying to, I don't know, put your kids first. I said that very sarcastically. Putting the kids first, letting them have like whatever kind of day they want. They get to choose all the things, whatever you eat, whatever you go do, all the stuff. Well, here's the thing. I only have 2 kids. One is already gone. The other one is little. She's little-ish. She's 11. Oh, there it is. There is the film. Kobe got to chill. I gotta tell you something, Kobe. That I am not a jealous person. Like, that is not my problem. Hi, April in Connecticut. Good morning. I will be in your state today. I'm in Long Island right now, April, but I'll be back in Connecticut. I was there yesterday, but I'll be back and I'll stay there tonight. Um, so it's a really cute movie, and because I work and I've been gone so much, and my husband and I went on a really great trip to Kauai last month, we thought, okay, we need to like pour into our daughter. So we just kind of focused this whole trip on her. Well, all she wanted to do was go shopping. And she's not like a shopper. We're talking like the M&M store. So we had to go to the M&M store. We had to go to the Hershey store. We had to go to the Lego store. We went to FAO Schwartz. We went to Swatch. And I'm going to talk a little bit about, here's what's so funny. So she wanted M&Ms, and you can customize them at the M&M store. You can also do this online. So we did that. And then you stand in line for 1 hour and a half, 60 minutes, at least an hour, maybe, yeah, for these M&Ms. It was like, we're in New York City. We're standing in the line at the M&M store. This is when you decide, I really do love my kids. It was a good lesson for my husband and I. We're pretty centered on us as a couple. So the whole weekend I held her hand and we sat by each other, and, she chose all the things. We took her to the TWA hotel. That's where we stayed. She loved it. She thought it was so cool. If you follow me on Instagram, which Anna can throw up my handle if you want to follow, I just threw up some photos. There's a Twister room at TWA where the whole room is made like the game Twister. And there's even like a spinner on the wall. She thought that was great. So we did that. I don't know. The worst thing that, and Anna will think this is funny. The worst thing that happened, I'm trying to put on this watch, by the way. The worst thing that happened was we had really crummy diner food. Really crummy diner food. Hello, Sam in Wisconsin. How are you doing? So that was disappointing. You know what I mean? Because you go to New York and you would have like great food. That did not happen on this trip. Anna can attest to that. I'm going to have to make that up tomorrow. It's my last day in the city. So I'm going to have to figure something out. Anyway, so we saw, hi, Andy. Good morning, West Virginia. We went and we surprised her with the Broadway show, Aladdin. Okay. And my daughter has been to Broadway one time. She was very young and she fell asleep in the show. So she's like, that doesn't count. So it was basically her first time to see a Broadway show. And Aladdin, I was trying to pick a show that I thought would be kid friendly, obviously, and all that kind of stuff. Because sometimes Broadway, you never know. We were not excited about Aladdin. My husband and I are massive Disney fans. We take our kids to Disney about 3 times a year. That's where we've invested because we became vacation members. And I tell you what, we were blown away. Like, I would tell adults to go see this show. It was fantastic. The guy playing the Robin Williams part, which, come on, it's Robin Williams, right? As the genie. And you're thinking, you can't beat Robin Williams. You know what I mean? Like, that's a hard thing to do. And not that he did, but this guy was phenomenal. And he was so great on stage. He just took over the stage and was hysterical. But the rest of the cast was great. Like, it was just a great show. It was funny. It was magical. Like, they go on this carpet ride like they do in the show, like in the, cartoon. I have no idea how they did it. I have no clue how they did it. They were in the air. There were not wires. I was like, are they on a drone? Like, it was unbelievable. Good morning, Erica. Good morning. Hi. So, April loves living in Connecticut. I tell you what, April, I got to say this. I was at a function yesterday in Connecticut, and the sunset was absolutely phenomenal. It was gorgeous. And to the point, April, they opened the windows so we could all watch it. It was so striking. I was like, what? I don't blame you for loving Connecticut. It is incredible. So we then went and had really crummy diner food. It was so awful, but it was over by Carnegie Hall. She got to see the big tree, Rockefeller Center. We did go to Hershey, and she got to make a customized Hershey bar wrapper. She's like a little kid. I mean, she is. So she wanted to do all the little kid things. Lego store, she bought a what did she get? Like a luggage tag at the Statue of Liberty. Like, it was so cute. I'm trying to think. We got coffee at Rockefeller Center downstairs. It was just packed. You know what I mean? It was just a fun day, and everything she wanted, we said yes. And it wasn't big stuff, is what I'm trying to say. It wasn't like a big deal. Um, so it was really fun. And then I surprised both my husband and my daughter with tickets to the Rockettes. They have a Christmas spectacular at Radio City Music Hall. And I've never been in New York City at Christmas. I've never seen the Rockettes Christmas show. And I thought, whatever. This is just going to be like whatever. You know what I mean? Holy smokes. So far, best thing I've ever seen. And when I talk about it, like I was in Connecticut yesterday, April, and I'm telling everyone how incredible the show was. They had live animals on the stage. The Rockettes were ridiculous. Like, there's a part that you put on glasses and the whole thing is in 3D. The music was insane. Like, the symphony was fantastic. Like, it was, I mean, to another level. And I was blown away. And here's what also is really interesting for all, we've talked a little bit about the pandemic and what it's like. And now that, I'm spending so much time in New York City, it is huge, like, back. Like, the city is back. Everyone is there. It is packed. I've never seen the city with so many people. It's expensive again. It was cheap for a little while. But at Radio City Music Hall, you don't have to be masked, which is fascinating because all of New York, you have to. You have to show your vaccine card everywhere you go, or like a negative test. And then you have to be masked inside buildings. Radio City Music Hall was like, nah, if you don't want to and you're vaccinated, that's cool. And it was like, what? Like, it was weird because you really get so accustomed, you know what I mean? And you're kind of like, I was like, why aren't they all masked? What are we doing? Guys, we're inside. What are we doing? Like, because you just get into this whole habit situation. So that was wild. And it was huge. I don't know how many people, my cousin said Radio City, maybe Anna can look this up. And also if you have any pictures from the Rockettes, I know you showed them the other day, but God, it was so good. But I don't know how many people Radio City Music Hall holds. That would be an interesting fact to know, Anna. At least, I'm going to guess. You know what I'm going to guess? I'm going to say Radio City Music Hall holds 3,500. I don't know. Hello, Chris. Welcome. Good morning. Also from New Jersey. Hi. Kobe asked everybody, look at that. What kind of music do you like, everybody? Also, good morning, Nathan. My husband is here. He always says, good morning, beautiful. Hi. I love Kobe, just to tell you. Oh, God, look at the Rockettes, everybody. I mean, for the love of everything. Do I want a second guess? I guess I didn't get the number right. I want to see over 5,000 for Radio City Music Hall. I want to see over 5,000, but that sounded a little ridiculous. That's 6,015. Wow. It was packed. 6,015 people in one venue in New York City, and it was packed. That's insane. It's huge. It is massive. I didn't realize Radio City Music Hall was that big, but the Rockettes are spectacular. If you're in town for the city, for Christmas, you got to go. It was unreal. Baber, good morning. Okay, so kind of music I like is I love soundtracks. Is that weird? Like, movie soundtracks is my favorite. My favorite band, Kobe, or group is Maroon 5. Like, to the point of I love them. What about you? What is your favorite music? 400 people can fit on the Radio City Music Hall stage. Maximum capacity is over 6,000. Actually, it seats right under 6,000, 5,960. That's insane. That is a venue. There was not an empty spot in that. There was not an empty spot at all. I'm not kidding. So the city is back. It was nuts. I'll be back there tomorrow for one last hurrah. I'm going to go see Company, the Sondheim musical, and it's starring Patti LuPone. She's a legend. Can't believe I'm going to see her. I'm going to try to act calm. I wish I could see her backstage. I don't think we're going backstage. Usually we go backstage, but I don't think that's happening. So, um, so now when you see something with Radio City Music Hall, you guys, you should be very impressed because that is an amazing venue. But you guys, let's go on to celebrate every day. Let's celebrate every day. And as we're doing this, I would love to hear what your favorite music is. Kobe says R&B. That's fantastic. And April loves oldies. I love that. April, here's what I want to know. What do you consider oldies? I think that's a fair question. Like, actually, I'm trying to think about this. What actually constitute oldies for music? Somebody's gonna have to let me know what they think. And for everyone else, I would love to hear what you love to listen to. But yeah, I love soundtracks. I really do. But Maroon 5, favorite. They're the best. Okay, so the 50s is what Sheila says. Well, then you got to go to TWA, Sheila. That's like all they play. Well, they play the 60s and stuff. You would flipping love it. We'll go one day. Celebrate every day. Here on this show, I say this every day. We love to celebrate the big stuff, which means the random calendar that they tell us what is whatever day. Today is National Cocoa Day. So if you're looking for an excuse to make a big heaping cup of hot chocolate, this is the day. This is your day. Here's what I want to know. What is your favorite flavor of hot chocolate? What is it? Is it and how do you take your hot chocolate? Are you a marshmallow kind of a person? Are you not a marshmallow kind of a person? Do you like mint hot chocolate? Do you like a certain brand? Do you like the cold kind, like the frozen kind, like in the movie Serendipity, which I wanted to take my daughter to Serendipity to have the frozen hot chocolate in the city. That's been like booked for like, I don't know, 7 years. It's like ridiculous. How do you take your hot chocolate? What does that look like for you? I would love to know. And the big thing that was like the rave last year were the hot cocoa bombs, that like are made out of the hard shell chocolate. And when you drop it into hot milk, the shell explodes in your cup and releases like all this hot cocoa powder. And so then you can make this hot chocolate and it's supposedly amazing. And they do all different flavors. They do like white chocolate with like peppermint, crushed up in it, or somebody had like a toffee one the other day. So like whatever, there was like a big deal. Okay. Anna says she tried to make those hot chocolate bombs. I have not. I have friends that make them and I pay them and they make them for me and it's like a stocking stuffer. She said there were no sphere shapes, so we tried other shapes and it was not good. That's hilarious. Yeah, no, it's like so yeah, so if you have a favorite type of hot chocolate, let me know. That's adorable. Mandalorian the child holiday milk chocolate with a marshmallow. So Yoda is the marshmallow. Can we get that from like Amazon? That is the cutest thing ever. Oh my gosh. That is the cutest. I have to buy that. That's fantastic. So look, you get this ball of chocolate, you put it in. I think hot milk is the best way to have hot chocolate. That's my opinion. I'm a hot milk kind of a gal for chocolate, right? I mean, what else are we doing? And when it opens, you the little baby Yoda comes out and he's a marshmallow. What? Can you get it on Amazon? Okay, it's on Amazon. It's on Amazon, everyone. We found it. What's your price point? Okay, what do you think this costs? I'm going to say $25. I'm going to say that costs $25. Good morning, Herbert. Hello. That's my guess. Or 15. I don't know. Anybody have a guess? How much do you think this baby Yoda hot chocolate, hot cocoa bomb cost? Any guesses? That's shocking. It's under $10, everybody. $7.76. I'm surprised. I'm really surprised. I think you could charge $15 for that thing and people would pay it. Yeah, see, Sheila said 20. I think you absolutely would pay $20 for that. Are you kidding? To have a little baby Yoda come out in your hot chocolate? People would lose their minds. April likes regular hot chocolate with marshmallows. Yes. Listen, there's something great about just classic. You know what I mean? Like grilled cheese. You just want cheese and bread and butter. I get that you want to add tomatoes and bacon and all that, but sometimes it's just best like the way it is. Mac and cheese. I mean, sure, put lobster in it sometimes, or who does that? I don't know. Bacon. I don't know. Just make Kraft mac and cheese. I'm with you, April. I enjoy that. Just the regular, good old hot chocolate with marshmallows. Oh. Anna has a friend with a little kid, and he's obsessed with Baby Yoda. Peter, who is often on the show here, like as a participant. What do I say? As a I don't know. Anyway, and he says Baby Yoya for Yoda. What? Sounds like he needs one of these. Okay, so happy National Hot Cocoa Day, everybody. Go to Starbucks, get a hot cocoa. Don't feel guilty. Here's what else is interesting. It's National Violin Day. What I think is cool about that is I literally just listened to a bunch of violins with between Aladdin and the Rockettes. And I gotta say, although Anna and I went last week to see Hadestown, and on the stage is where the orchestra was. They were on the stage with the actors. And I have mixed feelings about that. I get it. It's kind of like a trend right now. The band's visit did that. It really worked in the band's visit, which ended up winning the Tony for Best Musical. Hadestown also won Best Musical, the Tony. In the band's visit, they're part of the show basically. In Hadestown, they're there. They are in the background. You don't like notice them. They're great. But in the band's visit, it makes sense because it's a small band that is visiting. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's like a whatever person band, like it's not huge. For Aladdin, you needed a full orchestra. Like you needed all those Disney songs. And then they added a bunch for the Broadway show. The Rockettes needed a full symphony. You know what I mean? Like you needed this. Um, that's what you needed. I get it. And there's something about violins. I mean, they are just captivating. It's incredible how that instrument specifically, in my opinion, it's my favorite instrument. I don't know if anybody knows that. Isn't that crazy? And I actually started playing the violin when I was 2 years old. I should get a picture of baby Olivia. Baby Liv with her baby violin. I was 2 and I had boots that went to my knees. So tiny. My parents saw my violin. It's up on their like bookshelf. It's so teensy. I think I played till I was like 5 years old. And I started playing piano when I was 3 and I learned the Suzuki method. So I can play by ear. But the violin so cute. So cute. I love it because I love how the violin can invoke so much emotion. I think, Kobe was asking what our favorite music is. Kobe, I got to say, I love music that makes you feel something. And I know that's the point of all music, but I think that's I think that's why I love it in soundtracks or why I'm so like attracted to that because you feel something. I mean, that can make a film. You know what I mean? Like think about Jurassic Park or think about Titanic or think about, any of these epic films. The music, like the swelling of that music is just like, ugh, and there's nothing like it in a live performance. And I got to give a lot of credit to the violin. It can be excited, it can be depressing. It can be like, I feel like the violin has such a range. I really do. So let's hear some like incredible facts about April just said Baby Yoda playing the violin while sipping hot cocoa. April wins the internet today. You win. That is fantastic. Oh my gosh. I love it. Nathan said simple is usually best when done well. I think that's why I like the violin. Oh, April, that's funny. Okay, so let's learn a little bit about the violin, shall we? The modern violin has been around for 500 years. It was designed in the 1500s, but Andrea Amontali. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but we're going to go with it. And it's like the name sounds Italian. Also not sure. Playing the violin burns approximately 170 calories per hour. Okay, so that's kind of crazy. Violins are typically comprised of spruce or maple wood. Never thought about what kind of wood is used to make a violin. Now you know. Spruce? Really? That's what we use for our Christmas tree. We always buy a spruce. Mm. Violins come in many different sizes. Typically, students will start learning the violin at a young age with a 1/32 or 1/16 sized violin. I want to know how small mine was. As the student ages, they will graduate up to a full size violin. I think I only graduated one violin. I don't think I didn't get very far. Yay, Stacy. Hello, Frank. Good morning. Let's see. Violins are very complex. Over 70 different pieces of wood are put together to form a violin. No one knows that. No one knows that. 70 pieces, different pieces of wood? That is fascinating. This is why I love Sunday Morning. Does anybody watch the show Sunday Morning on CBS? Oh, I would watch. Anna says I would watch a How It's Made video on violin being made for sure. Okay, Anna, you got to watch Sunday Morning. This is the kind of junk they do. Like, this is the stuff they do. I'm not kidding. It's 2 hours of this stuff where you're like, what? And it's just fantastic. Okay, the word violin comes from the medieval Latin word vitula, meaning stringed instrument. Okay. Stacy, good morning. Stacy's having Fruit Loops for breakfast today. I got to know what Stacy has every day. It just makes my day. Stacy, I mean, you're going to have to text me if you ever don't come on the show. I got to know whatever you're eating. I love it. The world record in cycling backwards playing a violin is 60.45 kilometers in 5 hours and 8 seconds. I wish I knew what a kilometer was. Don't know what that is. Oh, Anna's saying, remember when Mr. Rogers would do the like making of the crayons at the crayon factory? I think that's literally everyone's favorite video in the world. I really do. I think everybody, if you were to ask them, what is your favorite all-time video? Everybody would be like, well, going to the crayon factory with Mr. Rogers and watching them make crayons. That was the best thing ever. Like, I mean, we talk about it. Everybody loves that part of the show. Anna, listen, Sunday morning is like grown-up Mr. Rogers. That's probably the best way to describe that. You would love it. Love it. Stacy. Okay, Sheila is saying Fruit Loops are one of her favorites. Okay, here's the thing. I'm going to tell you guys something. I was not allowed to have sugar cereal when I was a kid. So my favorite cereal is Grape Nuts. Is that lame and boring? I want to know everybody's favorite cereal. Sheila, what's your favorite? April, Kobe, Stacy, what is yours? What is your favorite? And Anna, Nathan. I think Nathan's is Frosted Flakes, if I were to guess. But I love like all the boring ones, like shredded wheat. Love shredded wheat. I do like frosted shredded wheat. That was like a treat. Sheila's favorite is Pops. I don't think I've ever had Pops. I was not allowed sugar cereal. I love Grape Nuts. And no, I don't add sugar. Stacy says, Stacy says, I don't have your number, so I have to come on the show. Good. I like you on the show, Stacy. You make my morning. Is that rude? I'm keeping you on the show. And I got to share you with everybody. But yeah, tell me your favorite cereal, everyone. I would love to know. What do you like? I also like Cheerios. Man, that's a classic. That is a classic. Anna loves plain rice checks. That's good stuff. They do have a little sweetness, those rice checks, I gotta say. A little teeny bit. Stacy loves Fruit Loops. Sheila wasn't allowed to eat sugar cereal, so she found them when she was older. Oh, Kobe loves like what kind of flakes? Like corn flakes? I love regular corn flakes, Kobe. Love them. It's a great cereal. My grandmother would keep Cookie Crisp under a cabinet. And so when I would visit her in Louisiana, you better believe I had Cookie Crisp, the best. I love plain Cheerios. I flipping love plain Cheerios. I do. Nathan loves Frosted Flakes. I was right. Stacy's allowed to eat sugar type cereal. Good, Stacy. I think you should. You're an adult. You should that's kind of a perk, right? You get to eat sugar cereal. Totally. Okay, so back to violins. The most expensive violin in the world was made by Giuseppe Grimari in 1741. The extravagant violin. Guess how much it cost? You know what? I'm going to pause. Guess how much the most expensive violin in the world cost? I'll give you three choices. Are you ready? A, $2,000. I'm going to look like I think on every single one of them. B, $50,000. C, $5 million. D, $18 million. 2,000, 10,000, 5 million, 18 million. How much was the most expensive violin in the world? What is your guess? $2,000 for A, $10,000 for B, $5 million for C, $18 million for D. A, B, C, D, everybody. What is your guess? What is your guess? How expensive was the most, what was the price tag for the most expensive violin in the world? Sheila is guessing 5 million. Stacy's guessing 2,000. Kobe, April, Nathan, any guesses? Anna already knows the answer. All right. I have a guess for 5 million. Nathan guesses 5 million. My daughter guesses 10,000. $18 million for one violin. You guys, what in the world was in that violin? Was baby Mozart in that violin? What was in there? I don't understand. I can't even think of what would make it, because it's not like it has I can't. I have no clue. Isn't that fascinating? $18 million. Crazy. Violin bows typically contain 150 to 200 hairs that can be made up of a variety of materials, including nylon and horsehair. Violin strings were first made of sheep gut. Oh my gosh. This is insane. That's just crazy. Wow. Okay, so the most expensive in the world is the Messiah Violin. Okay, 17th century, 18th century, from Italy. His violins were worth millions of dollars, often considered priceless. Okay. 20 million, the Messiah, whatever, was crafted in 1716 and is so precious. It's been rarely played. Why would you play it? Notable violinists who are known to have played it are Joseph Joachim and Nathan Milstein. It's currently on display, this $20 million violin, at the Ashmolean Museum in Oxford, England. What makes it $20 million, Anna? Good morning, Rachel. We're talking about the most expensive violin in the world, which is $20 million. That's insane. The wood, the craftsmanship, that doesn't even make sense. Good morning, Kaiser. April had a healthy breakfast of cream of wheat this morning, guys. Let me know what you're eating this morning. I haven't gotten to. There are some luthiers. Nobody knows that that's what a violin maker is called. A luthier? Is that what Lex Luthor is? That would be hilarious. Who have a special collection of wood they're saving for years until they feel the wood has aged enough to begin building a violin. This alone can drive the price up. I don't even know what any of that means. That is crazy. $20 million? Oh my gosh. Well, there you go. So back in the day, when the strings were made from sheep gut, which I hope you're not eating right now while I'm reading this, they would stretch it, dry it, twist it. Other materials for violin strings were made out of steel, stranded steel. I don't know the difference of that. Various synthetic materials. wound with various metals and sometimes plated with silver. What? So let's play a game. Let's play a game. Let's figure out. I would say, well, we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen. I don't know this game. And I always mix games and then I ruin things because I just start talking. This is a game called Who Played Violin? Who Played Violin? Oh, multiple choice quiz game. Which famous person has played the violin? Ah, look at that, Anna. Look at you with your cute little. You guys, how fantastic is this? Who played? Okay, let's see who played. Which of these famous people played the violin? So, if you're listening on a device, you guys, if you are listening through the Alexa app, I can't say her name because everybody's devices will go off. But the Amazon T-Rexa, if you're listening on the app, if you're listening on your at-home T-Rexa, if you're listening at, through your Echo Dot, you can go to backchannel.tv and type in your answer and play along with us in real time. If you're on YouTube, there's a chat feature on the right-hand side, so you can just type it in. If you have an Echo Show, you can actually speak to your device. You say her name, or if you've renamed it, but Alexa, and the magic word is say A, say B, say C, and it will type it for you in the chat. So let's play the game. Which of these famous people played violin? A, Albert Einstein, B, Thomas Edison, C, Marie Curie. So I guess the answer is not D, all of the above, which is what I would have guessed. I would have guessed that. I do not know the answers to this. I don't. Okay. My daughter says A, Albert Einstein. Oh, are you giving us now? It only says Albert or Marie Curie. It was Albert Einstein. Anna. Albert Einstein played the violin, but that means that Thomas Edison did not, and neither did Marie Curie. Curie. Okay, fascinating. Who else? I'm ready. That was great. Look at you with the vanishing answers. If you're watching, you guys, you can see. I guess Stacy and Sheila can watch. They can see. Which of these famous people played violin? A, Adolf Hitler. B, Joseph Stalin. C, Benito Mussolini. All these are bad guys. No one likes these guys. I don't think any of us care if they play violin. Nathan says C, Mussolini. That's a good guess because he's Italian. Sheila says C. She says Mussolini. Also, I didn't know his name was Benito. You always hear Joseph Stalin. You always hear Adolf Hitler. Stalin? Yeah. Okay, it wasn't Stalin. It's either Hitler or Mussolini. Mussolini. You're right. That makes sense. He was Italian. And it seems like that the violin is a big thing to the Italians. Anna says his stare is terrifying. She's right. And my daughter got it right, correct. Everybody picked C. That's fantastic. Way to go, everybody. All right, let's see the next one. Which of these famous people played violin? A, Charlie Chaplin. B, Greta Garbo. C, Max Linder. I'm going to go with B. I feel like Greta Garbo would be an interesting answer, I don't know. Let's see. If Nathan and Sheila says A. She's guessing Charlie Chaplin, which makes sense. I mean, he did vaudeville, right? Did he? I don't even know who Max Linder is. I don't know. All right, Anna, we're ready. Let's see. Ooh, Greta Garbo was wrong. I was wrong. It's either Charlie Chaplin. It is Charlie Chaplin. Sheila got it. That makes sense. My daughter guessed Max Linder, who I don't know. Nathan guessed Charlie Chaplin. You were right. That's crazy. Okay, which of these famous people played the violin? Moe, Curly, or Larry? Who remembers the Three Stooges? God, I used to watch the Three Stooges all the time, which is hilarious. Which now I look back and I'm like, were they funny? I'm not really sure. Moe, Curly, or Larry? Anybody have a guess? A is Moe, B is Curly, C is Larry. Sheila's going with Curly. Let's see what Nathan says. Nathan. I think Stacy's going with A, Moe. So we have one for Moe, one for Curly. And yeah, I'm gonna go with Larry. That way we have at least all of them. My daughter says Curly. That seems like a good guess. Why should it be Mo? Oh, it's not Mo. I almost changed my answer. Okay, Nathan goes with Larry. It was. It was Larry. Oh, look at him. Wow. Larry played the violin. He also had a very horrible, what is this? Like a balding in the front. It's crazy. So, you guys, I got to talk to you about this hotel coffee. I got to. I got to explain something to you. It is awful. And I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you. I'm going to get this right here. I want you to see this. This is what they do in Marriott's across the nation. Marriott's. Get a package like this. Have you seen these? This is called Make It Work Monday. This is Make It Work Monday. Here's what's upsetting, okay? I'm going to open it. It now, okay. Can you see this? I don't know if you can see this. Oh, my hand is this. Okay, there we go. That's the device now in your hotel room. Is that device? Okay. When you open this, I'll make it. Don't worry, I won't waste it. Even though this is decaffeinated. Which why? Why would we do this? It's this. This is what you get. You get this little tray. You get a packet that already has the coffee grounds in it. It does look like a really big tea bag. You put it in the tray. You take your cup. You fill it up with the amount of water that you want. You pour it in the back of that device and you press the button. That's it. It is weak and it is really gross. Make It Work Monday. It's tough. I'm not going to lie to you. So what do? When you are traveling, what do you do for coffee? Do you use the hotel like room coffee? Do you just make it work? Or do you make sure that you like go and get coffee? Do you go downstairs and get coffee if you can? Most places have a downstairs coffee situation. I've shared this before. I don't think I shared on this show. I'm not sure. My favorite hotel coffee is Hampton Inn. I love their coffee. I don't know why. I really don't. And I specifically live in Louisiana in Jennings, which is where my family is. They have the best lobby coffee I've ever had anywhere. Isn't that crazy? Oh, Sheila says Hampton Inn has the best coffee. They really do. Their coffee is fantastic. Isn't that shocking? Yes. Thank you. Oh, Anna, you cannot buy the Marriott hotel coffee online. Please tell me that's not true. You guys look at that. You get why would you do that? I mean, for a single serve coffee, is it better than like a Keurig, I guess? You've got to be kidding. $48 with an annual subscription? Oh my gosh. Nobody wants this. Nobody wants a 1-cup coffee brewer and tray set. That's the brewer. Yeah, bring that up. That's what's in every single Marriott hotel now. All of them. Yeah, every one of them. The 5-star ones, the 4-star ones, the 2-star ones. That's what it is. I wonder what would happen if I just took it. It looks like it costs $10. $25? That's shocking. This is shocking. This is not coffee, everybody. Oh my gosh. Wow. Jelly bean coffee is much better for the subscription. What is jelly bean coffee? Oh, Zelly bean coffee. I know what you're trying to say. Stacy says her mom goes to get coffee from the store. That's brilliant. Don't drink this. This is called making it work. I didn't have time to go downstairs. Stacy says, yeah, I'm not a Zurich, Keurig fan. I'm not. It kind of freaks me out. The hot water going through the plastic cups. Does that bother anybody? I do love Zelly Bean coffee. A friend of mine owns Zelly Bean coffee. Hannah goes, I love that that's what freaks you out. It does. I don't get it. I don't know if we should put hot things through plastic. But anyway, the subscription service of Zelly Beans, they'll deliver your coffee to your front door. It's fantastic, you know? Um, yeah. Sheila says that she has a Ninja coffee maker, which I literally had until last year during the pandemic. We got a new coffee maker because we were making so much coffee. Our Ninja didn't break, but we wanted to be able to like grind and like do all this stuff, you know what I mean? And what is it called? Like a Breva? Is that what it is? It's a great machine. And I had a Keurig forever. I had a Keurig for eternity. Um, I just can't. I got rid of it. It just kind of grossed me out. And then I went to the Ninja, loved the Ninja, and it came with like a frother on the side and like all this kind of stuff. And then we went to Breva. It's like we did like a it's like when you buy a house, like you start an apartment, you go to like a starter home, and then you get like whatever. Like it's like it was like this graduation into different coffee makers. I'm not even kidding. It was kind of crazy. But I just have to make it work. You know what I mean? Anna says, next I'll hire an in-home barista. I don't know. It's something interesting about being on the road and having something warm in your hotel room. I really miss like the smell of the coffee, but I could see why they've moved away from that kind of stuff, why they're like trying to make it work and they have these different machines. And I don't know. I just hate it. I did want to tell everybody something really cool about what I did in New York with my daughter yesterday with Make It Work. Okay. This is kind of a cute little and a good little place to talk about this story. One of the stores that we went into, we basically stayed at Times Square the entire time, which is very touristy. Local, New Yorkers will tell you that's not the place to be. And you know that. But, when you have a kid, that's what they want to do. They want to do those stores. They want to do all those things. Well, what's so funny is that they have a Swatch store. Does anybody remember Swatch? Anna, can you pull up anything with Swatch on it? I think Swatch stands for Swiss Watch. That's my guess. It's a Swiss company. I'm already out of coffee. We're not even an hour in. Yeah, it's all gone. I think it's a Swiss company. No, it is a Swiss company. I think that's what it stands for. Swiss Watch. So the Swatch store in Times Square, it's fantastic. It's got all the Swatch watches. I don't know if you remember back in the day, they would have like bands that you could like get. Like it's kind of like how in braces you get like different colored rubber bands. Oh yeah, that's the Swatch store in Times Square. But they have all these different. I mean, they were really famous in the 80s. I would say probably early 90s. I don't really know why, except for the colored bands that you could get on top of the things. Anna says that she remembers now that she went to that store whenever she was in New York City 1,000 years ago. So we're walking by and Kana's like, what's Swatch? And I was like, well, back in the day, it was like a big deal. It was like this great watch store. And I started having these memories and I was like, I really always wanted a Swatch when I was little. I don't know why I never got one, but I didn't. I grew up in the 80s. I was a teen in the 90s. I never got a Swatch. And all my friends had the Swatches and they had the different color bands and they would I remember that they would like trade them and they would do all these things. It's so funny how products or things can just bring you back, right? They're so nostalgic. What is a product, you guys, that you grew up with that gets you all nostalgic? When you were little, maybe you were a teenager, maybe there was something that you always wanted that you never had. And now that you're an adult, you could have it if you wanted. I'll tell you what's funny. All I ever wanted, besides the Swatch, which I'll get back to the Swatch, I wanted so badly was the, you guys, what is that oven? Sheila's going to know the answer to this. The make and bake oven. What is that called? Easy Bake. Thank you, Anna. The Easy Bake oven. All I wanted was an Easy Bake oven. I am 44 years old and I still don't have an Easy Bake oven. Isn't that dumb? You literally make food over a light, like over like a light bulb. I could go buy an easy bake oven. I could ship one to my house right now. And I could use the company card and like send me one. Sounds like the start to Santa Claus. Right. It's so do you want me to? No, don't. It's so lame. It's so and I have a real oven. Like I have a real person oven. I don't need one. Too late. What if that was my white elephant? I would die. But I always wanted one. So here we go. We go into the Swatch store. We're in Times Square. I'm trying to explain the concept of Swatch to my daughter. There's a great little video I posted online of her like doing the crank. They have like a crank on the wall that like kids can do. I think it was something about the parts of the Swatch that made it so unique. I don't really know. We walk over and this guy comes up to us and he says, "Hi, would you guys like to get a Swatch today?" And I'm thinking, no, who wears a watch anymore? And I was like, no, 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 we're just looking around. I'm trying to explain the whole concept to her. And so he's like, well, come look over here. We have like a whole Peanuts collection, as in like Charlie Brown, Snoopy, Woodstock. And he's like going on and on about the Peanuts. Amazon is on the way. Nathan would die. He will hate you, Anna, if you sent me an easy bake oven. Anyway, so he then brings us to this area and says, these are unique New York. That's hard to say. Unique New York. I think that's actually a tongue tie thing. I mean, like a voice exercise. Unique New York swatches. You can only get them here in this store. Anna said we used to say that in theater. Unique New York. Unique New York. I need to do that. And this is it. You can only get these. There were 2, 3, maybe 3 designs. You can only get this design in New York City. It's exclusive to New York City. Dadgummit. If we didn't buy, can you see this? Am I showing anybody anything? Is that the camera? Where's the camera? There we go. Is that good? My daughter said, she's 11. She goes, I want to get that one. It's got numbers on it. It's got the Empire State Building. It's got the Statue of Liberty. It's black and white. And it says New York City. And I was like, heck yeah. Okay, you're getting a swatch today. I love that the kid got like not Legos. She got a luggage tag at the Lego store. But I got her a real swatch. And I looked at her and I said, do you want me to get a matching watch with you? And her face lit up. I hope she's listening. And she was like, yeah. And I did. I was like, heck yeah, I'm going to totally get a matching watch with my daughter, my 11-year-old, because I do travel a lot now with my job. So I told her, even though right now it's actually set to my time. It's set to Eastern time because we bought these in New York City. So that's fine because I'm here. Oh, that would be a good idea. I was going to say I told her I'll set it to your time. So I always know what time it is where you are. So when I look at it, I think of you, which I've thought of her the entire time. I've never had a watch. Like, you know what I mean? Like I haven't had a watch in like 1,000 years. Stacy, have an incredible day. Thank you for being here. Pray for us at church, Stacy. But I love it. I got my first swatch in New York City and it matches my daughter. So that's kind of great. You know what I mean? Did any of you have anything growing up or wish that you had something that you didn't get? I have friends that still talk about they weren't able to get like a Cabbage Patch Kid or their parents wouldn't let them have Garbage Pail Kids. They weren't allowed. Like I love that there's like toys that like we weren't allowed to have. That's funny. Also, that's concerning if you're making toys that kids can't have. Like you should have toys that children are allowed to have. So anyway, let me know if you have anything like that. If you have a swatch or if you have like what did I say? I don't know. But I can't think of like guys. What did you want? Like a Power Wheels? No, that's not what this was. It doesn't matter. I can only think of 80s toys. I really can. And I guess the other thing is that if you weren't an 80s kid or a 90s kid, you could kind of get the toys that you wanted after that. We talked about the Tickle Me Elmo that one time. There isn't really any, well, there is something right now. We all learned about it. I forgot what the name of it was, but there's a hot toy right now, and that is hard to get. My daughter just got her Xbox, even though we got her the Xbox back in May. the Microsoft Store online is where we finally got it. Somebody asked me that the other day, and I need to like post that because I didn't know the answer. So the mixy things. Thank you, Sheila. The mixy things. Those are the ones that are kind of the hot ticket item right now. But as far as, supply and demand, I think also a big part of the problem growing up was the price. Like if parents could afford things, which I think is still a problem today, let's be honest. Some toys are absolutely out of control as far as their price. Not only that, but I have, my daughter being here this weekend, you could definitely tell I was suffering from parental guilt. I wanted her to have everything how she wanted it, the way she wanted it, when she wanted it. Like I definitely spoiled her this one day, and it was quite a spoiling. And I go back and forth about it. I'm like, was that okay to do like this yesterday? Or is that damaging? Like, does she now expect? Because I talk about people have this accountability issue in this country. They are not able to be accountable for anything. And they have these wild expectations. They're entitled. We have an entitlement issue. We just have people walking around. I'm entitled to this. I'm entitled to that. I'm entitled to give you my opinion. I'm entitled to have what I want when I want it. And I love McDonald's, but I do. I actually love McDonald's, but I kind of blame them because we have this now. We've been conditioned. We want what we want, when we want it, how we want it, quickly, and that's that whole McDonald's mentality. You order something and it's there in what? 90 seconds. They have some type of like, if you watched The Founder with Michael Keaton, it's about the guy that invented McDonald's and why and how and how they got it down to a science of we're going to have hot food to people in like 40 seconds or something insane. Like it's really crazy, but it's all intentional. It's like, it's like Sesame Street and Blue's Clues, what they did with children's programming, where they were like, we know kids have an attention span of like 70 seconds. So we're going to change the subject every 70 seconds and they're going to visually watch it. So now we have this simulation of like visual things happening very quickly. And then we have the satisfaction of you order something and it gets you very quickly. And then you have a company like Chick-fil-A, which takes it up a notch and says, not only are you going to get your food really fast, but now you have really quality food. I mean, you can't argue that Chick-fil-A chicken is significantly better than McDonald's chicken. I mean, that's like a fact. That's not like an opinion. I don't even eat meat. That's a fact. And then they take it up even further where, they meet you out in the line. You don't even have to order through a machine. You're going to talk to a person face to face. They make it a very like personal experience. They say their famous phrase, "My pleasure." And they know your name. They thank you for coming. Like it's the Chick-fil-A is an experience. McDonald's introduces to you get what you want quickly. Burger King changed it and said you can have it your way. You can change it, which you can do at McDonald's. But they've conditioned us. We love cheeseburgers with cheese, mustard, ketchup, onions, and pickles. Never do you see that combination like anyplace else. You always have lettuce, you have the big round onions, you have tomatoes, you have mayonnaise. You go to Sonic or whatever, you go to like wherever, but not at McDonald's. They taught us what to like. And I don't know if you know this, you probably do. But they also put in chairs. They intentionally put in chairs that are not comfortable so that you don't stay. So that you want to leave, like that it's not coming, like you're not like getting all snuggly inside, and like it's not first class. You know what I mean? They're not giving you a pillow and a blanket and slippers. They want you to move on because they're trying to mass produce a product like tremendously. So it's really interesting that we now have this conditioning. We deserve what we deserve, when we deserve it, why and how. And so my opinion, my question about all this is that, did I lean into that too much as a parent this weekend, giving in to my daughter, letting her have what she wanted, when she wanted, how she wanted? Doesn't that harm her for her to have that expectation? If anybody has any thoughts, you're more than welcome to comment on my parenting. And I don't know if I said hi to Davey. I don't think Davey's here anymore, but hello, Davey. Nathan did say that he always wanted a G.I. Joe base. I don't even know. The base where the G.I. Joes would like hang out, like where they could like do things. Mariana, good morning from Delaware. And hello, Toddy. Hi. So there you go. That's my make it work. And you know what? That is my make it work Monday. That was my make it work Monday. I had 12 hours with my kid in New York City. I made it work. I made a decision. I put her first. I let her do what she wanted. It was a yes day. I'll have to parent when I get back. But that was how I made it work. And there was a lot of guilt involved. So there you go. Guys, we're going into the second hour. You're listening here on Backchannel. You're either on a Alexa device at home, the Alexa app. I can't say the name or all the devices go off, but the Amazon devices. You can listen on Twitter. You can watch on Twitter. You can watch on YouTube. You can listen on Echo Dot, and you can watch on Echo Show. I think those are all the ways. If you're just on a listening device, you can go to backchannel.tv to type into the chat to be a part of the conversation. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a chat feature on the right-hand side. I actually don't know how Twitter works. I still don't know that yet. So I don't know how that is. However, if you have an Echo Show, what's super cool is that you can just say the magic word say to your device. You say her name, T-Rexa, say, good morning, Liv, and it will type it on the screen for you. Talk about really conditioning us. Like, here's what's so funny. When I come into a hotel, I don't know how to work a remote control anymore to a television because at home I have one that you speak into. I'm just like, like this isn't a walkie-talkie. I press a button and I'm like, Friends, or I'm trying to think of something. I don't know. Backyardigans. What is this? 1912? What am I doing? Little House on the Prairie. Hallmark. I literally don't know what I'm saying. I haven't turned on TV in a hotel in a long time. But they don't have the voice activated remotes. They have normal remotes like people. You know what I mean? Also, you still can get like a telephone. Like, look at this. There's still, is this going to go? There's still telephones in a hotel with a receiver, with a cord, with push buttons. I showed you guys at the TWA, they have a rotary phone. That's an actual rotary phone. So now I'm all conditioned that I can speak. I mean, we're just getting spoiled. Am I wrong? Nathan says, I think if it's special, it's okay, but it can become a problem when it's every day or too often. I agree. We'll see how this went. We'll see if we ruined our kid, Nathan. I don't think we ruined her. But let's get to the news, shall we? Let's talk about some make it work news. This is interesting. Climate Tech's newest unicorn, makes chemicals from sugar, not fossil fuels. I don't even know what that means. I get the whole concept of like, unicorn, Climate Tech. I don't know who Climate Tech is. Unicorn makes chemicals from sugar? Oh, makes chemicals from sugar. This is hilarious. I'm literally sitting here going like, we already make up sugar. Like we already make sugar. Like that's something we already do. That's not what they're saying. That's not at all what they're saying. They're saying from sugar, they're able to make chemicals that we don't have to use fossil fuels to make chemicals. Let's read this. At a new industrial plant making chemicals in Houston. That's my hometown. What you might notice first is that there are, quote, you'll notice there's no wastewater discharge or air emissions, that the entire plant is run off of electricity rather than giant coal-fired burners, said Sean Hunt, Chief Technology Officer at Solugen, a startup that built the plant. What? This traditional petrochemical industry is one of the world's biggest sources of greenhouse gas emissions, spewing out an estimated 923 million tons of CO2 last year, carbon dioxide. 923 million tons of carbon dioxide. But Solugen's products can actually be made can actually be carbon negative. They are less expensive to make than their counterparts made from fossil fuels. So you're getting something less expensive and it's friendly for the environment. If the startup can reach the milestones it has set itself over the next few years, it could potentially remove 1 billion tons of CO2 per year. Good morning, Braden. Wow. Talk about make it work. The company, which recently raised 357 million in a Series C funding round, is now valued at 1.8 billion dollars. It launched in 2016 after a chance conversation at a poker game in Dallas. No way. Hunt, a scientist who studied metal catalysts that are used to make chemicals, met co-founder Gaurav Chakrabarti. I do not know that name. I completely butchered it. I apologize. Who had discovered an enzyme that could turn sugar into hydrogen peroxide while studying cancer cells as a medical student. They became interested in combining the approaches to make chemicals in a new way. Is there a downside? Is there anything down about this? Look at the pictures if you're watching, you guys. You got to see this stuff. This is fascinating. Right now, the $6 trillion chemicals industry relies on oil, natural gas, and coals to make ingredients used in everything from laundry detergent to running shoes to fertilizer. It's a dirty process. The pollution starts with fossil fuel production, and the complex processes used to refine those fossil fuels into chemicals lead to climate emissions, air pollutants like benzene, a lot of waste because the techniques are inefficient, they're unsafe. The site where Suligen now works used to be a petrochemical plant until it violently exploded, shattering windows at a nearby business, sparking a fire that took 7 hours to put out. It's possible to use fermentation to make the same chemicals from plants instead of fossil fuels, but fermentation is inefficient. If you use living cells to turn sugar into a chemical, half of the sugar will be converted into CO2, into carbon dioxide. Soligen, I don't know if I'm saying this right. Soligen. Their approach is designed to eliminate that waste. At the plant, which runs on wind power, corn syrup goes in a reactor filled with engineered enzymes, making an intermediate product that goes in another tank with metal catalysts, which speed up the whole reaction and make it more efficient. Virtually all of the feedstock is ultimately converted into the final product. Talk about make it work. That is incredible. After winning a 10,000 grant from MIT from a competition in 2016, the two men went to Home Depot, bought supplies to build a tiny reactor from PVC pipes, and started making hydrogen peroxide. I have goosebumps. This is extraordinary. A business owner who heard the MIT pitch reached out saying that they wanted to buy the product to sanitize water and float spas because they wanted to find a more a sustainable product. Others in the float spa industry followed. That's just crazy. This is crazy. Quote, I flew down to see the lab and they had this kind of janky prototype reactor. It was maybe 2 feet tall on a lab bench, but it was making a product through their enzymatic reaction, said Seth Bannon, founding partner at 50 years, an early stage VC fund that was the company's first investor. Quote, and the thing that was most impressive was that they were selling 100% of the product. The startup soon started selling its product to other industries, including wastewater treatment plants. Wow. Focusing on specialty products first was a deliberate strategy to avoid the path that taken by an early biotech company try to compete with companies making cheaper products on a massive scale. Quote, I think a lot of the mistakes that have happened in the past where people went directly to commodity chemicals and fuels to compete against these $100 billion companies, said Hunt. Quote, we started with water treatment chemistries right from day one. And then what we've been doing as we've been progressively moving into different chemistries and in different industries as we scale Another molecule the company now makes can be used to make concrete harder and reduce the use of cement because the plant based chemical is permanently embedded in the concrete. It makes the chemical carbon negative. While there could be challenges with using corn syrup at a massive scale, since the farmland used to grow the corn could potentially be used for growing food, Solingen could also use captured CO2 as a feedstock in the future as an alternative to corn and other plants. I can't. That is really exciting. That is fantastic news. Fantastic news. Based on a detailed analysis of current products, a company estimates that it could theoretically produce 90% of the chemicals that are now produced by fossil fuels. The other 10% include chemicals that the company doesn't want to produce because of the environmental impacts of the chemical itself. Making alternatives for everything will take time. The company has to design enzymes for each chemical, and that's a challenging process that isn't necessarily guaranteed to work. Geez. Okay, we're going to stop there. That is awesome. Make it work Monday. I love it. Also, there's a rare diagnosis out there, you guys. Rare diagnosis. A stint lost in the mail has a fairy tale ending. I'm guessing a stent like a heart stent, like, they put, or a brain stent. I don't know what I think a stent is. I kind of think of it like I was gonna see if I had something. When I visualize it, I think of you know, uh, like a coffee straw, like a coffee stir. All right, so let's see what this is. This is a Make It Work Monday. Rare diagnosis, stent lost in the mail, fairy tale ending. And Arcodos Dr. Gustavo Aldrich describes it as a Cinderella story, like a glass slipper that could only fit one foot. Aldrich, a vascular surgeon, McGovern Medical School at UT Health Houston. I love that all this is coming out of Houston. UT Physicians and Memorial Hermann designed a stent specifically for Arcardo. Arcardo? Yeah. And like the fairy tale, the two became separated, prompting a quest to bring them back together. Only instead of searching the land for the only maiden for whom the shoe could fit, Arcado's situation meant finding a custom stent lost at FedEx in Memphis. Quote, there was no way it would get to me in time, Arcado said. The New Orleans resident, who's 46, was waiting for the stent to be delivered to Houston. Once it landed, she would undergo a revolutionary surgery only performed by 10 surgeons in the United States. If that wasn't enough, Arcado was in town early with her partner, Ken Daigle. They wanted to outrun Hurricane Ida, which was heading to Louisiana, before her August 31st operation. After a decade-long medical journey, the light at the end of the tunnel began to seem out of reach. That is until manufacturing company Cook Medical assumed the role of the fairy godmother and literally fired up the jet engine. Aldrich called with the news, quote, the stent is on the way. The story began in 2000. She had a menstrual cycle that would not stop. She was on birth control. She had breakthrough bleeding. She kept thinking, it's going to stop. My cycle is going to stop, but it didn't. She got so weak, her father had to carry her to the car and rush her to the emergency room. She was tested for every bleeding disorder ever. She was warned by, she's newlywed. She was warned by a fertility specialist. If you get pregnant, the arteries in your uterus are going to be the size of garden hoses. You'll bleed to death. In the meantime, she kept going to the hospital bleeding. She was exhausted. It was 3 years of hell, she said. In 2003, doctors performed a partial hysterectomy. But the removed section of her uterus came back with pathology, no abnormalities. Nothing could have caused or explained the bleeding. Ooh, this is scary. The next step was to have her aorta checked. The results were normal. She had no answers, but the bleeding mysteriously stopped. She went on with her life. 5 more years, and then she lands in the ER again. She's back in the hospital. Her husband's a police officer. He died in Hurricane Katrina. Their house was ruined by the storm. After gutting it, she tried to rebuild her life. In 2008, she had a new job, began dating. One night at dinner, intense pain grew in her jaw. From that point on, she said, I felt like there was a knife down in my chest. I looked at my boyfriend and said, I'm having a heart attack. She was only 33. She was sweating and shaking. She went to the bathroom. She came back. She was pale. She went to the ER. They did tests, doubled over in pain. She had an aortic dissection, a tearing in the main artery that is often deadly. She immediately flashed to John Ritter, who died from an aortic dissection. She said, I just lost it. I never heard of anyone living through that. That's terrifying. Cardiovascular surgeon was on call that day in New Orleans and said that if they performed the surgery there, she had a 50% chance of survival. But if you get to Houston, you have a 95% chance. She was transported by jet. She was on the operating table by 8 a.m. the next morning. That was her first open heart surgery. A lot of other things happened. Anyway, so in 2021, something was not right. Something's wrong. She finds out, all this stuff that she's going to need. This stent, which is crazy. She has this rare disease, this crazy aneurysm, and they have to use a special stent placed inside the artery, a small incision in the groin to get it in there. The stents were built with, all these like branches, and they have to like make it for her. It allows like blood supply. The operation was performed in hybrid rooms that allowed X-ray imaging. Like, this is intense. This is crazy. I can't believe somebody figured out how to even like talk about make it work. Like, I cannot believe somebody figured out how to save this woman's life. Anyway, it finally happened. The procedure on September 5th. The operation took about 2 to 3 hours. Immediately after that, she woke up. Wow. She was in the hospital for like 4 days instead of 6 weeks. This technology is a game changer. She fell in love with Houston. Yay! Which is hilarious. Of its history with cardiovascular history. Wow. You guys, this is so great. This is amazing. Talk about make it work. They made it work. They saved this woman's life, even though they couldn't get all the things the way that it was supposed to. That's really exciting. That is really hopeful for people. Isn't that great? What a motivational Monday story. You know what I mean? Like, to hear that, to hear like, wow, well, good for her. And welcome to Houston. I'm not there right now. You know what? Let's play a game. Yes, Kobe. That is a true blessing. I agree with you. Let's play a game. Let's shift. That was such good news. Let's try to like get our energy going in a different way. Would you rather? We love playing Would You Rather on this game and on this show. Here's what's great. I'm going to give you some options, and you're going to let me know by talking to your Echo Show device, or you can type in at backchannel.tv. If you're on a listening device, you can type in at backchannel.tv what your answer is. If you're on YouTube, Twitter, you can type it in yourself. Hello, James. Welcome, James. South Carolina. I love it. We're playing a game. All right. Would you rather? Anna and I will definitely play. Kobe, I hope you play. Nathan, Sheila, James. Let's see if anybody else is over on. I don't see our other friend. Maybe Toddy. I don't know. Okay. Would you rather? Would you rather have the ability to see 10 minutes into the future or 150 years into the future? Jeez. I think I'm going to pick 10 minutes because I'm not going to be around in 150 years. I don't want to be around in 150 years. You know what I mean? Like, I would pick, okay, Kobe's going to pick 150 years. Interesting. Sheila says 10 minutes. 10 minutes would be interesting to know. Although I would like it to be longer. Okay, so we've got 10 minutes. We've got 150. Anna says 10 minutes, and Nathan hasn't answered. I think that's interesting. Kobe, you have to let us know why. Sheila's same. Why would you pick that? Yeah, why would you want to know 150 years? Just to know? It'd be interesting to see if this corn syrup thing works. You know what I mean? Like, is that going to actually change the environment? Do we save the climate that we keep hearing about? That would be cool to know. The pandemic? Are we going to go through another one? I'm sure in 150 years. Okay. So let us know. Would you rather be chronically underdressed or overdressed? Anna says, I wonder if you could control it, or is it just continually 10 minutes ahead like deja vu? Oh, that is interesting, Anna. That would be weird. Like if you knew every 10 minutes. Yeah, like you're like, oh, now I know that 10 minutes. Now I know that 10 minutes. That would be annoying. Chronically underdressed or overdressed. I would totally pick overdressed. I think that's the best way to go in any situation. It doesn't feel cool when you go somewhere and you're overdressed. You feel like a total jerk. Nathan said 10 minutes. Okay, good to know. You do. However, it's not the worst thing. I feel like if you're underdressed, I think that can really bring on like humiliation. You know what I mean? And like shame and get in like tapes in your head. I don't know. I would say overdressed. I would say that. And I have to say, I've done both. I'm sure everybody here has done both. You've shown up to an event and you misread it and you were underdressed, you know? Um, that's never a good feeling. Hello, Thomas. Good morning. Hello, Nebraska. But if you're overdressed, and I've done that as well, you feel like a jerk, but you can move on from that. I feel like it's less embarrassing because you're not trying to be, I don't know. If you're underdressed, I just feel like it puts you at a disadvantage. I feel like I think it just kind of, there's just a lot of shame in that. I don't know. People are pretty interesting about that kind of stuff. Nathan says overdressed is what he would do, and he's off to work. I love you too. Thanks. So yeah, Anna says overdressed. I feel like you could explain it easier. You could totally explain. You could be like, oh, I have something fancy to go to or whatever. If you're underdressed, I don't know. It kind of feels like it puts you at an economic disadvantage, which is something that isn't fun to feel. If you are at an economic disadvantage, you don't want people to know that. There's a lot of shame in that. You know what I mean? Or that's what I experienced, in my opinion. Okay, it seems like we're all on the same page. We'd all rather be overdressed. Would you rather have a personal maid or a personal chef? I've heard this one before. I would say maid. I am just not a Martha. I am not Martha Stewart. I can't. It's not that I can't clean or know how, but it's really difficult. I get very overwhelmed. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to start. Does that make sense? Like I look at clutter or I look at something to do and I freeze. I paralyze. It's not natural to me to know. Like Nathan can walk in and he knows exactly where to start, how to start. And I'm good at, if you tell me to do something, you're like, Liv, I need you to pack that and put that in or whatever. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I could do that. But I can't figure it out. Anna said she would have somebody clean up after her cooking. I like that idea. That is the Achilles heel. I love cooking, but the cleanup afterwards is the worst. You know what I mean? Sheila says personal chef. She would take a personal chef. I would guess Nathan would take a maid, like a housekeeper all the time, because he could eat peanut butter and jelly for the rest of his life and be totally fine, or a bowl of cereal. Which is why I've kind of not cooked very much, because I would make these big meals. I love to cook, and I'm actually a really fantastic cook. I love the whole creativity of it. I love the intention of cooking. There's so much about cooking I just really enjoy. And then about an hour after I would cook, he would pour a bowl of cereal or make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And I would be like, why did I just do all that? Like, what in the world? Why did I just like spend all this time? And he didn't care. So I kind of don't, which is a little sad. But I am thinking about making this dish that I love for breakfast morning, for Christmas morning. I really want to do it, but I'm trying to think if I know where the recipe is. That would be a problem. Although I do know who I got it from, so I'll have to see. But anyway, you guys will have to let me know. What do you actually? That's a good question. While we still play this game, Sheila and Anna, I think it's just us. What do you eat that's special in the morning for like Christmas or like a birthday or like whatever? Like, what is something special that you like? You can't wait. Is it like a quiche? Is it like a homemade biscuits? Like, what is it that you do? Omelets or pancakes? What is special in the morning, especially for big holidays? And I'll have to share my recipe. I don't think I can make it on the air, but anyway, would you rather always have BO and not know it, like body odor, or always smell BO on everyone else? Sheila makes her great grandmother's pound cake for like that's oh my gosh. That sounds incredible. That sounds incredible. I don't know if I've ever had homemade pound cake. You know what I mean? Sarah Lee definitely doesn't count. That is not the same. And it says, oh my gosh, her dishwasher didn't work at her old apartment and it was awful. And I'll tell you something really sad. My grandmother, Aunt Sheila, is 97. Although other people could be listening, we just don't know. Is 97 years old. She lives in Louisiana. She has 10 kids. She has 58 grandchildren. She's about to have 98 great grandchildren. Only 25 of us first, like the grandchildren, are married. There's still like more to get married. We might be at 27. You know what? I'll check when I go. And she's never had a dishwasher. Never. And they've bought her one, like her kids put on the countertop, but it's too bulky. So never in her life has she had a dishwasher. Isn't that fascinating? Her 10 kids were the dishwashers. Not really, but yeah. But it's still crazy. I mean, it's a tremendous amount of people. I think I do dishes at my grandmother's house more than anything. But she does a lot of dishes. Okay, Anna says, hold on. Oh no, I can't scroll. Oh, there we go. She has a super simple breakfast casserole that she was always in charge. It was always the thing that she was in charge of for breakfast. Is it like the sausage one where you put like the biscuits down at the bottom and then you put like a layer of cheese and you put like eggs and you put like sausage and then you, like whatever? Is it that like the breakfast casserole? It's like a classic, which I don't know if it is, but yes, but we did white bread and bacon. That sounds fantastic. I always wanted to make, oh shoot, what is that movie, guys, that Sarah Jessica Parker's in, and she makes that strata. It's like a Christmas movie. Oh, the something ring. Oh, what is the name of that film? She goes to visit. It was like over Thanksgiving or over Christmas. Her fiance. I can't think of the name. Anyway, and they actually give the recipe at the end of the film. Sarah Jessica Parker's in it. Rachel McAdams is in it. Shoot. Who plays the mom? The something ring. The title has the word ring in it. I can't think of it. Anyway, but she makes an Italian like strata, breakfast strata that they have on Rachel McAdams is super mean in that film. That they have Christmas morning. The family stone. I said ring. That's hilarious. The family stone. I love when Sheila and Anna get the answer at the same time. Also, I was convinced it was ring. It's not. It's the family stone, which is about a ring, right? Okay, I see where my head was. But I've asked people, have you ever made the strata at the end of that film? Have you ever tried to? And I kind of want to. I kind of want to see, is it really that great? Also, what does Martha Stewart make for Christmas morning? I feel like that's what we should all do. Okay, so the last would you rather? Would you rather have BO, body odor, and not know it, or smell BO from everybody else? I would have to go with I would rather smell it from everybody else. I think that'd be horrible if you stunk and everybody knew but you. That sounds awful. I don't know. I mean, smelling other people sounds awful, but couldn't you like walk around with like smelling salts? Remember back in the day? And you could just like, isn't that why they made Bath and Body Works? So you could just smell things that aren't people? I do. I think that would be a much better plan. Much better plan. So anyway, you guys, the incredible film West Side Story came out. It came out Friday. Anna said that she would pass out from Bath and Body Works. That would bring her. Ugh, I know. It's the worst. Kana just discovered it and she loves it. She's such a tween. Okay, so but West Side Story came out. I really want to see it. Anna said that we can go see it. We can do that Wednesday if you want. We need to make plans for what you want to do when you want to hang out. When I need to go find friends in the lobby. Too soon? It's probably true. It might happen. Well, I'm sure. I'm sure I'll start talking to people. I love that I stay at all the same hotels and I make friends with the people that work there. Like my friend Danny, who works at the place that I was staying in Stanford. And I want to see if my lady bartender friends are still there. They were really awesome. I really loved them. So I'm hoping they're still at the same hotel. So I'll just hang out with them. They're safe. They were great. Yeah, you met them. So yeah, you'll have to let me know when they need to babysit me. And I actually have a friend that lives in Ohio, and I was going to call her and see if she wanted to come visit. We'll see. But I do want to see West Side Story, and I do want to go eat at that Asterisk place again, and all the other things I need to do with Peter. I miss Peter. I don't know what food I'm eating. So Rita Morano is in this film. She takes the role, a new role that they made for her, and there's a documentary about her on, I want to say Netflix. She was not my cup of tea. I didn't like her in West Side Story. I didn't. Oh, geez. I thought she was just a little too much of I didn't like the character Anita, I guess. It really wasn't Rita Morano. I just didn't like the character. I don't know why. I never did. And West Side Story wasn't my favorite. It was my dad's favorite musical growing up. But the name of the documentary is Rita Morano. It was on PBS as part of a series. Oh, but they're showing it. I didn't watch it on PBS. I watched it on something else. It had to been Netflix. I want to see the rest of them then because it was an excellent documentary. Like it was so well executed, which I have to say, I feel like I've become an expert on documentaries. They are not all executed the same. They really aren't. Not all documentaries are fantastic. I've said this before and I'll say it again. My favorite documentary at this point is called Four Flights. It's about 9/11. And what was extraordinary was the way that they filmed it and the information they gave. I think that's what makes a documentary. If you actually learn something from the documentary and they do it in a fascinating way, I say it works. You know what I mean? The problem I had with what was that documentary? Everybody was really into it. Oh, the Britney Spears one. The second one that just came out didn't do anything for me. We didn't learn anything new. Like there was nothing great about it. This, what is the name of it? Sorry, Anna, I know you already went up. Oh, I see it. Never mind. Rita Morano, just a girl who decided to go for it. Okay. So the series is called American Masters. Her career has been over 70 years. Can you make it a little closer? She has a shirt that she wore to an event and it says just a girl who decided to go for it. It was like one of those sparkled glitter shirts and she paired it with like this great skirt. But it was like she goes, this is like the cheapest outfit I've ever worn to a, like she was getting like a lifetime achievement award. The film interviews so many people, you know, and people that you wouldn't like. Okay, it is on Netflix. That you would not, that's where I saw it, that you would not expect to be part of Rita Morano's life. That's what was interesting. Like you get, like she's on a show right now, she's on a series. And so you get that, you know, those people, her fellow actors, her fellow whatever, they would be with her. What is she on? One Step at a Time or something? Like it's a reboot or a remake. I know there's a difference. No, it's a remake. It's a remake. But you've got like Whoopi Goldberg, Eva Longoria. You've got Gloria Stefan, Morgan Freeman. That was shocking. You'll never in a million years guess where Rita Morano and Morgan Freeman worked together. She was on a show for 6 years after she won the Tony for supporting actress in West Side Story, I think is that right, Anna? Is that what she won the Tony for? She's an EGOT winner. An EGOT winner is very rare. It's, for the love. Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony. EGOT, EGOT. She has an Emmy, she has a Grammy, she has a Oscar, and she has a Tony. And when she won the Tony for Best Actress, no, not the Tony, when she won the Oscar for acting. And I think it was for supportive actress. Oh, good morning, Kathy. Hi. Glad you're listening out in Texas. She couldn't get work. You've got to watch this story. It was fascinating. What is really interesting is that, oh, yeah, here it is. Okay, so she was exploited most of her career. She did, she was, okay, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to read this starting that second paragraph. Born into poverty on a Puerto Rican farm, Morano and her seamstress mother immigrated to New York City when she was 5 years old. They left her whole family behind. Her brother, like she never saw her brother again. Um, I don't think she had like a father that was part of her life, but like aunts, uncles, like all family she left behind in Puerto Rico. After studying dance and performing on Broadway, which she was a child star. Like she started performing and she has a really great story. I don't want to ruin the whole documentary because it was just fascinating. Like every single story this woman tells in this documentary, you're like, your face is blown off. Like you had no idea, A, it was Rita Morano, B, that story was true. Like it was just fascinating. I'm not kidding. But she got started really young as a teenager, and the way that happened is a great story. But she started performing on Broadway. She was cast as any ethnic minority. So if there was a Native American, like an American Native American, she was cast as that part. She played more Polynesian parts, like, tropical girls or whatever. Like that was her big thing. So, she was like their go-to girl. So when they start telling her resume of famous films that we've all grown up with, and they tell you Rita Morano was that part, you don't even comprehend it. I don't want to give it all away, but I'm going to go ahead. Not a lot of people are listening, I don't think. The King and I with Yul Brynner, the famous King and I, Rodgers and Hammerstein. There's a scene in a character that's introduced that there's a woman given as a gift to the king. He has lots of concubines. He has lots of wives, the King of Siam in this film. Or in the show, whatever. It's also obviously it's a Broadway show. But anyway, in the film, this beautiful girl is given to him, and her name is Tuptim. Good morning, Linda. Hi. Tuptim is given to him. And there's a huge part about Tuptim. She falls in love with this guy, and they're like lovers and like this whole thing. And the king gets mad and he, is going to kill them and all these things. She plays Tuptim. Oh, I was going to finish reading. Sorry. I was just pausing to give an example of Polynesian. Thanks. Oh, there she is. Oh, okay, you're showing a picture. That's Rita Morano playing Tuptim in King and I. No one, yes, thank you. No one knows that. Like, no one knows that. The King and I is crazy famous. Crazy famous. So here's a Puerto Rican playing a Polynesian back in the day. Those are the parts she would get. She would always get, and she said she would use a universal accent. Nobody cared. Nobody knew the difference. Nobody knew what a Polynesian girl talked like. No one knew what a Native American girl talked like. She knew what a Latina talked like. It is really a great story. So anyway, Polynesian, Native American, Egyptian, and more. Despite becoming the first Latina actress to win an Academy Award, no one talks about that. If I were to ask who was the first Latina actress to win an Academy Award, no one would say Rita Morano. Nobody knows that. I could tell you who won the first, the first Black actress to win an Academy Award, as I should know that. That is information I should know. Asian actress, but I did not know Latina. Anyway, it's Rita Morano. She won for, where did I go? Anita and West Side Story, 1961. The studios continue to offer Morano lesser roles as stereotypical ethnic minorities, ignoring her talent. Beyond the racism she experienced as a Latina actress, American Masters Rita Morano, just a girl who decided to go for it, explores the lesser-known struggles Morano faced and her path to stardom, including pernicious, I don't know how to say that word. How do you say that word, Anna? Whatever. Hollywood sexism and sexual abuse. She was, I don't know that word, sorry. I want to say promiscuous, but that's not what that is. She was sexually abused. She was sexually harassed, and she was sadly raped. And a lot of other things. Like she was just exploited and treated like an object because she was gorgeous. I mean, beautiful. And men just treated her like an object. Her tales are really sad. She was in a very toxic relationship with Marlon Brando for years, like 8 years. And he was absolutely like true narcissistic personality disorder, just beyond. And it was really bad. And the way he treated, it's just sad. She attempted suicide a year before she won her Oscar. So in 1960, she attempted suicide. She won the Oscar in 1961. The documentary also revisits her notable roles in The Electric Company for PBS. The Electric Company was a show that aired after Sesame Street. Like it was, it's a children's show. It was Sesame. There was a lineup. It's like Sesame Street. Maybe it was Mr. Rogers' Sesame Street Electric Company. Like there was a lineup. She was on The Electric Company for 6 years. 6 years after winning the Oscar. That's the job she could get. And that is where she met Morgan Freeman. He was also in the cast for Sesame Street. No one knows this. Like, this was a fantastic documentary. Good morning, Linda, and hello, Ryan. Oh, great. Let's see a picture, and then we'll come back to this. A picture of her on The Electric Company. I used to love The Electric Company. God, that was a great show. But that's the work she got after what she did. Look at that. So in the top right is Morgan Freeman. And in the bottom, in the vest with the terrible haircut. I did not like her hair like that, but that's Rita Morano. That beautiful girl. No, that's, yes, that is Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby was on The Electric Company. He did Picture Pages. Does anybody remember that? I know nobody's like here. Sheila might remember, but there was a song. It was a great catchy tune. Picture pages, time. And it was Bill Cosby, and he had a magical pen that made a really great squeaky sound. Like it did this kind of noise, and we all had like our Picture Pages like pens at home to do picture pages with Bill Cosby. Yeah, you should watch it today with your baby. It was a great show, but it was a very diverse show. So was Sesame Street. They were groundbreaking in diversity of skilled, talented actors. So you've got Bill Cosby, Rita Morano, Morgan Freeman in, what is this? The Electric Company. Wasn't Janet Jackson? I don't think that's Janet Jackson, but Janet Jackson was like in a little kid's show. What was she on? Besides, I mean, she was like in Good Times, right? Was she in Good Times or different? Janet Jackson was on in something, but I'm gonna have to look her up and see what else she was in. Janet Jackson. She might have been in The Electric Company. I don't know. Anyway, back to the article. Fascinating documentary because she's just this crazy talented human being that has this ridiculous career. Was in all these films that you did not know it was Rita Morano. Like she was in Singing in the Rain. Nobody knows that. And she took on so much abuse, and she took on, she has all these awards and all these things, and nobody knows. Nobody knows. Nobody cares. Really fantastic documentary. Could not recommend it more. And she is in the revival or what do we say? Remake of West Side Story, the Steven Spielberg film that just came out on Friday. Let's see. So, oh, no. Okay. I do kind of want to, okay. So she was in One Day at a Time. That's the show she's on right now. The documentary demonstrates Morano's talent and resilience as she broke barriers. She paved the way for a new generation of artists, especially Latinas, refusing to be pigeonholed. It's like how you'll hear about how African-American or Black actors, females were only put in roles as maids. They were only put in roles as, servants, things of that nature. When you go back and you look at films from the 50s, the 60s, those roles were played by Black actors. And so that's all that they would get. Cooks, that very stereotypical thing. Same thing with the Latina actress is that she was always played over-sexualized, this very exotic, Latina, with this attitude, that whole thing, that stereotype. She was always placed in that role or in a servant role, being a housekeeper, something like that. And then, like I said, in ethnic roles, they didn't even care. And she would do a Latina accent on purpose as a Polynesian, and nobody cared. Really fascinating story. So, as a filmmaker, woman, and Puerto Rican, she says, I am proud this is the woman who did the film. I'm proud to have the opportunity to tell Rita's story. Her many victories in the face of prejudice and inspiration are inspiring to me. Hopefully, this film would give strength to women all over the world who today face a similar fight towards equality. The film premiered at the Sundance Film Festival in 2021 and had a successful theatrical run. Anyway, that's my plug. I've been wanting to talk about it forever. I wish 4,000 people were listening right now because it is an extraordinary film. Every woman should watch it. Every man should watch it. And if you're in the Latin community, I think you would absolutely appreciate it. So make sure to watch the documentary series American Masters. And, that series seems awesome. It was done extraordinary. It was done so well. Thank you, Anna, for letting me talk about it. Okay, you guys, let's talk about gingerbread houses, shall we? It's a Make It Work Monday. I actually posted on Facebook the other day this great tip, and I like to give tips, like on Mondays and stuff. That's something that I do. This could be something, Anna, that we could make on the air. I could easily do this on Wednesday. Where am I going to be Wednesday? I'm going to be in my cousin's apartment in Manhattan on the Upper West Side on Wednesday. I don't want to do that there. I could do it, and when I'm in Ohio, I could do Friday. I could have a cooking segment. But I saw that you can make, I'll have to look it up on my Facebook. You can make a gingerbread house with your kids with Pop-Tarts. Now, I know a lot of people will do gingerbread houses with graham crackers. And let's be honest, who really likes gingerbread? Like, okay, you might like gingerbread, but gingerbread houses, gingerbread is always like, is it stale? Is it old? Like, what is it? You know what I mean? It's super crunchy. It's like, I don't know. And royal icing, nobody likes royal icing. I mean, people don't make gingerbread houses because they love the way they taste. You know what I mean? They make gingerbread houses for the experience. It's a fun family activity. A lot of people will get together as families and make gingerbread houses and then have contests. And with social media, people will put up gingerbread houses and have people vote, like anonymous. Like they'll be like, okay, here's, gingerbread house A, here's gingerbread house B, C, D, E. Everybody vote for your favorites. And people will vote, but it's anonymous. You know what I mean? It's you don't know, oh, that was Liv's, that was Anna's, that was Nathan's, that kind of a thing. So people are getting creative on what can I make that tastes better than gingerbread, but it's still the activity that's super fun. Okay, that's fantastic. I will be in Ohio on Saturday and I get to go to my first like Christmas Friendsgiving. That's not a thing. What is it called? Friendsmas? Anna and her friends are going to be they're so kind. I already have my white elephant gift, Anna. It's awesome. I was with Nathan and Kana in the city and I wasn't planning on buying anything, but it just worked out. So I'm really excited. And they just announced that we're going to have a gingerbread competition on Saturday. I've never been a part of a gingerbread competition. Yay. And here's the thing. You can buy lots of kits. You can buy gingerbread kits, I hate gingerbread. It's announced. It's now a permanent thing. We set it in the air. It has to happen. Can we do like Pop-Tarts or can we do like shortbread or can we do like graham crackers? Since I think everybody hates gingerbread. The thing I was talking about Sheila, which I wanted to hear at this point. I don't know if Sheila's still around. I know she works during this time, but Sheila, I wanted to hear about your weekend at Disney. And I wanted to hear about all the Christmas and all the things. I've got to say, I'll tell the truth on Thursday and I'll write it into the show about my opinion between, or is New York City the best place to be for Christmas? I'll share that. But Sheila, if you're there, I know that you're busy. I want to know what you thought about all the Christmas stuff, especially the Grand Floridian. They have a walk-through gingerbread house and, and you can buy shingles, which aren't really the shingles. They just, make them in the shingle shape. And it's a pretty intense gingerbread. I mean, it's like spicy. You know what I mean? She went to Epcot and Hollywood Studios and Sheila said that it was awesome. I'm so happy. Did you get to ride Rise of the Resistance? And did you get to go to Grand Floridian and walk through the gingerbread houses? Epcot's fantastic at Christmas because they have all the Santas from every single country, which is super rad. That they show, like, they have these, how each country in the world like celebrates Christmas and what that looks like, because it is so different around the world. You think, oh, everybody does the same thing or whatever, or they have the same whatever. She did not get to go to the Grand Floridian or Rise of the Resistance. That's okay. You know what's so great about Disney? It's Disney. There's 1,000 things to do all the time. But okay, let's see some gingerbread houses, Anna, of some fails and some winners, of people who have done. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. This half-hearted effort, you guys. This is definitely a gingerbread fail. Resulted in a decent base, but falls extremely short on the decorations. I hope this gingerbread house. I know that Sheila's the only one looking. Guys, it's like a strip of icing and like 2 gumdrops. Also, who eats gumdrops anymore? You know what I mean? Like all the candies that are traditional gingerbread, the gingerbread itself and the candies and the royal icing. I don't know anybody who's like, that's my favorite part. Like they like the decorating, the creativity, the family time, but not so much the food. Okay, Anna, that one's terrible. That looks very unappealing. Holy smokes. I am looking at a gingerbread Hogwarts. Holy mackerel. Is that at Universal Studios? Where is that? It's Hogwarts, the school that Harry Potter and his friends go to, the magic school, made out of gingerbread. That is gorgeous. Wow. Now that's magical. That is really magical. And I have to say, I love Universal. I love Hogwarts. I love how they have snow everywhere. It's not real snow. Oh my gosh. You guys, this is a sad SpongeBob gingerbread. It's a SpongeBob SquarePants themed gingerbread pineapple house. It looks horrific. Now, here's what's funny. It's a kit. Like this person bought a kit. So you have all the materials. It already is done for you. And it looks like a blob. It looks like, it looks like a dying turtle. I don't know what that is. Oh my gosh, that's horrific. Holy smokes. And then you have an Up, the film Up, which is like, who did not cry in the movie Up? I do not know one human being that watched the movie Up that did not cry in that film. And this is a gingerbread house, which that's brilliant because the whole story is about a house-ish. You know what I mean? It all takes place in a house, and they made a gingerbread house out of that, and they made a hot air balloon with jelly beans. This is disgusting. This is disgusting. Oh my gosh. This is a gingerbread house. And yeah, Sheila, I like that one too. The Up one is really cool. This looks like dog duty. This is dog duty. Yeah. Yeah, it does look like the Up house. That looks like dog duty. That was disgusting. Okay, this one is a perfect house and really beautiful. Oh, and it's tasty. See, I think that is the part that not everybody gets. When you buy baked goods, when you get cookies, when you get a cake, you don't want, like, remember, if you've gotten married, you don't want a cake that just looks like a gorgeous wedding cake. You want it to taste great. That's my problem with gingerbread houses. I want it to taste great. You know what I mean? And it should look good too. Last one. This is the last one. That's really funny. Somebody took 3 pieces of bread. They made a tent out of the bread and leaned it and put ginger, like the spice, ground ginger, in the middle of the bread. Gingerbread house. Okay, that's funny. So, you guys, we are at the end of the show. You guys are amazing. Tomorrow we have 2 hours of the show again, 8 to 10 Eastern. I will be in Connecticut. I will be coming to you from Connecticut. Don't go anywhere. There is Anthony Davis' show is in an hour at noon. And you've got your pal Hal at 2, both 2-hour shows today. Don't leave Backchannel. You want to stay here. I'll see you tomorrow at 8 a.m. You guys, don't forget to make today phenomenal and live every day. Thanks for being here. See y'all tomorrow.